What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. As you guys can probably tell by the title, there's probably going to be including the word rant in this this title and in this video. There's going to be no fancy stats. There's going to be no graphics, no nothing. This is just me talking about what happened with the Toronto Maple Leafs last night, because it is early. It's 9:30. Well, early. It's 9:30 in the morning. The day after the Toronto Maple Leafs lost 7-1 to the Pittsburgh Penguins, the shorthanded Pittsburgh Penguins. They were losing Sidney Crosby. I mean, kind of good, right? I mean, arguably one of the best players of all time. Evgeny Malkin, kind of good, right? Pretty damn good hockey player, one of the best Russian point producers of all time. Chris Letang, I mean, guy's pretty good, one of the best all-time defensemen. They lost all of those. They didn't have any of those guys. They didn't even have Rust in the lineup last night, which is going to hurt my fantasy team. But they didn't have Rust in the lineup last night either. All of those guys were not playing. The Leafs lost to a bunch of second-line players, third-line players. And that's no diss, because clearly they stomped the hell out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. 7-1. Now, the reaction on Twitter, of course, the place that it's the most toxic, is that the sky has officially fallen and that this is the dreadful end of the Toronto Maple Leafs rebuilding plan, that Dubas is fired, Keefe is fired, Shanahan is fired, they're going to trade Marner, they're going to trade Tavares, they're going to trade Nylander, everything is over. Now, I will say I joined in a little bit in the conversation by saying that I was a little worried. I was a little scared for this team. I was starting to be a little concerned about what's going on, because it's been years of a rebuild and there's been built-in excuses all the time. But what I need to get off my chest right away is that, am I a fan of Kyle Dubas? Yes. Am I a fan of what he's done to make this team better? Yes. But I'm not saying he's perfect. And I'm also not saying that I agree with all the moves he made this year either. But when the Leafs lose games like this, you start to see all the old things brought up. You start to see random bits of information coming up. I'm not going to defend Kyle Dubas for an entire video. I'm not going to defend the players for an entire video. I'm not going to defend Sheldon Keefe for an entire video. I'm not going to defend Brendan Shanahan for an entire video. I'm not going to defend Lou Lamoriello. I'm not going to defend Mike Babcock, because what you need to understand about all these people is that they've had their hand in good things and bad things to do with this team over the past 4, 5, 6 years, okay? Lou Lamoriello, great GM, changed the culture, brought in some good faces, made terrible trades, made terrible signings that people will just ignore, right? Fine, he did a bit of good, did some bad, but they'll ignore the bad because it's Lou Lamoriello, class hockey guy, right? Mike Babcock did some really good things, changed the culture, helped bring in some people, but was, kind of hiding a terrible personality behind the scenes, was doing some things that an NHL coach should not do. I have no respect for that man. I have none. There's a lot of things that people are just ignoring of what he's done as well. Brendan Shanahan changed the culture, brought in some great people, helped bring in some great people, but maybe hasn't made the right decisions at the right time sometimes. I can't say too much on Brendan Shanahan because he doesn't have as much, of the pull when it comes to trading and stuff like that. He oversees everything, right? He probably helps, but I don't think he has as much to do with the team that Kyle Dubas puts out there. Which brings me to Kyle Dubas. Changed the culture, has brought in a lot of really good players, has been screwed by a pandemic. The cap was supposed to go up $8 to $10 million within the last couple years, but it didn't. And guess what? That sucks. Kyle Dubas has made some good moves, but he's made some really bad ones too. Some really bad moves. No excuses. None. Do something. Sheldon Keefe, fairly new the last couple years, has done well as a coach, wins a lot of games. but maybe hasn't made the right choices when it comes to ice time and the line configuration. Some good, some bad. They all have had their part into it. So let's not blame one particular person. Because I'm not going to sit here and just blame the whole thing on Mitch Marner either, because the players need to be held accountable. And I've been saying this for a long time. The Leafs for the past few years, regardless of four guys at the top of the cap making all this money, they should be performing with that money that they're making. They should be. Let's not forget Mitch Marner has eclipsed 90 points. Let's not forget John Tavares has eclipsed 40-plus goals. Let's not forget Auston Matthews has been on a ridiculous 50 to 60 goal pace. Let's not forget William Nylander is actually having a really good start to the season, and last year he was really good. I don't want to hear anything talking about William Nylander because he's been really good. The Leafs this year are getting secondary scoring from Spezza. They're getting pretty good play from Kerfoot. They're getting good play from Bunting. But the big guns aren't getting it done. Wayne Simmons is doing his job, kind of. Nick Ritchie is lost. Jake Muzzin, Justin Hall have been terrible. Absolutely brutal. Brutal. TJ Brody is kind of doing his thing. Can't say too much. Morgan Riley hasn't been bringing the offense. Rasmus Sandin, Travis Dermott, Timothy Liljegren, they're still finding their way. They're young. They're still finding their way, and they haven't been that bad, to be honest with you. But the Toronto Maple Leafs are not getting a full team effort. They're not getting the effort from the players that they should be. Is the season over? No, it's far from over. So let's not say that, oh, they're done, whatever. The Leafs could go on a 10-game heater and everything would be fine. But are they going to do that? Because I'm going to say this. If the Leafs continue to lose games, if they continue to win one game, lose 3 or 4, win a couple games, win or lose 4, whatever, if they keep going on that pace, people are getting fired and people are getting traded. But we're not there yet. So before we start freaking out, before we start blaming one person, because I hate to break it to you guys, this isn't all Kyle Dubas's fault. This isn't all Sheldon Keefe's fault. This isn't all the players' fault. It's a collective fault. They're all not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Kyle Dubas didn't make all the best moves this offseason. He made some good ones, but he didn't make all the best moves. And guys, please stop bringing up Zach Hyman. I love the guy. He's fantastic. But when you play with Connor McDavid, you're going to look very, very good. Guys, Zach Kassian looked fantastic with Connor McDavid. Zach Kassian is not that type of player. But when you stick someone beside a guy that gets 200 points a year pretty much, you're going to get some points. You're going to score some goals. It happens. And I hope Hyman scores 30 freaking goals, 40 goals. I don't care. But it's not, Zach Hyman coming into this team doesn't make the Leafs a juggernaut. It's one player. Freddie Anderson started off the year in Carolina with 4 straight wins. For the last 2 years, Freddie's been not good and been hurt. The Leafs did not want to take that gamble again. He's had a good start to his year. I hope he plays fantastic. But he's one guy. We are not going to start blaming everything on the GM when the players need to be held accountable. Start playing for the money you're making. I've said it in videos before, but I feel like I have more respect for the Toronto Maple Leaf jersey. I have more respect for that logo on the front, the name on the front, than some of these players do. As a fan, that should not happen. You are blessed with the opportunity to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the NHL. Start doing something about it. This isn't coming from a place of blaming one person. I will not do that. I refuse to do that. If you're doing that, you obviously just have a hate for that one individual person. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. But I tweeted this out. When I wait all week, when I bust my ass at work all week, I'm working multiple jobs. When I'm doing this all week, just to watch these hockey games at the end of the night, and then they go out there and they piss on the fans like they've been doing. It pisses me off. Play for the damn logo on the front of the jersey.